We have 현근성 수호사님. Hello. Yes, hello. What did you prepare for us today? There are three channels of light in our bodies, and it's called upper danjeon, middle danjeon, and the lower danjeon. Let's listen to Jongdosanim's words on this topic, and we'll have time to summarize afterwards. Yes, looking forward to it. Let's look at the clip. How do we make our body into the one of an immortal? We practice with the Dogong music of Shichunjuju mantra and the Teochu mantra. Now, there are three channels of light in our body, right? We'll define the upper danjeon and lower danjeon and the middle danjeon. Now, the first lower danjeon is where the power source of all life in our body comes from. It is the gateway to communication that receives the energy of life from the Holy Spirit of the universe. It's the entrance. The lower danjeon is the passageway of the universe's wisdom and how it communicates. Now, what is the upper danjeon? Upper danjeon is the portal gate where we enter the infinite world of creation, transformation of the universe, of the Holy Spirit of the great emptiness. Where is it located at? As I said earlier, right below the left and right lobe of the brain, there's a pineal gland. This pineal gland is about the size of a grain of rice, but this is an interesting one. Now, the existence of this has been proven by science. If you look at the structure of the pineal gland, it's small and it's in the back of the head. And its shape resembles a pine cone, and that's where it gets the name. And it's full of microfiber on it called cilia. And when you give it a sign, it will light up. For example, if it receives electric signals, it will dance like a jellyfish and connects to the world, to the universe. And this has recently been scientifically discovered. So we need to light up the upper danjeon and the lower danjeon. And to do this, the first thing we must learn is to know how to breathe properly. So in Chinese lineage of Taoism, they used breathing and they compared it to fireplace bellows. Now you work the bellows during the ironwork to melt the steel, right? You can make the fire grow and you can make the fire die. Now they call the soft breathing as the civilized fire here, and the one you breathe softly, the gently and taking long breath, that's the civilized fire. They call this strong and hard breathing the intrepid fire. And it's a breathing method that we breathe strongly. So we talk about strong breathing, but both methods are all necessary. For example, if something happens, people breathe really hard, right? But breathing in our natural, pure state of life is meant to be soft, natural, and long. And when you sit down and try to wake yourself up, focus, you need to breathe hard. You have to breathe deeply so that oxygen penetrates even into the microvascular capillary tube in your lungs. And this is why deep breathing restores the body's fatigue and adjusts the whole body. So taking these strong, soft breaths like yin and yang, and we don't even have to have that much knowledge. And we do this instinctively, just with common sense. But as a reminder, it's better to breathe from the lower danjeon. And lower danjeon is the passageway where the infinite origin of life, of the Holy Spirit of the universe, just goes in and out of my body. But the upper danjeon is where you enter the spirit realm, the world of God, the world of creation transformation. Now it's surrounded by the bone and it's small, but inside it there's a wider, bigger world than the space of the universe. And when we meditate to bring together the upper danjeon and lower danjeon, we get to start the meditation to increase your longevity. After going through the basic steps now, I'm just giving you, the viewers, the basic rundown or summarized version. But if you go to the dojang, they'll teach you nicely, step by step, and this has to be done one-on-one. How can you just sit at home expecting this to be just handed out to you in the comfort of your sofa, you know, and expect to attain the treasure of truth of the universe, for that has been passed down for thousands of years. The video we just watched is an excerpt of Jongdosanim's public lecture from the upper danjeon, lower danjeon, and proper breathing method. Now, there are three channels of light in the human body, and upper danjeon is in the head, lower danjeon is in the center of your chest, and middle danjeon is the center of the chest, and lower danjeon is your belly, lower belly. This is also called the elixir field of essence, energy, and the spirit. Now, today Jongdosanim taught as he focused on the upper danjeon and the lower danjeon. And the lower danjeon is 5 centimeters below the belly button and about 60% in from that area towards your back. The lower danjeon is very important because it's the door to receive life energy of the grand universe. Now, the upper danjeon is surrounded by the skull, bone, the area between the forehead and the pineal gland in the center of the head. Jongdosanim said upper danjeon is the portal into the spirit realm of the universe and the infinite world of creation and transformation. The upper danjeon looks small physically, but when you enter the spiritual area inside it, you actually feel that it is a bigger world than the space itself. Now, at the upper danjeon, the entrance into the spirit realm is a gland that resembles a pine cone. It's the size of a grain of rice, known as the pineal gland. Now, when we practice meditation, when we put the light of mantra into the pineal gland, this activates and opens the portal. Now, in summary, the lower danjeon is a passage through which the energy of the grand universe travels in and out of my body, and the upper danjeon is the passage for the spirits of the creation and transformation. Now, you talked about the pineal gland. Would you please elaborate a little more? Yes, pineal gland is a pine cone-shaped endocrine gland that sits in the space between the left and right brain and is the size of a grain of rice. The pineal gland regulates sleep and awakening, waking up through melatonin secretion. Now, modern medicine has revealed that pineal gland has a lot of fine hair, known as cilia. Now, Jongdosanim said, if you chant the mantra numerous times and put energy of the mantras in there, the cilia will dance and they'll light up. The waves of light expands and connects us to space. In fact, the pineal gland is activated during meditation. The gateway will open and you can experience entering the infinite realm of the spirits at the upper danjeon. So in order for us to practice, we need to know the relationship between the lower danjeon and the upper danjeon. And Jongdosanim also told us about proper breathing method during meditation. Did he not? Yeah. Yeah, there are two types of breathing methods. Breathing that is soft and natural is called soft breathing, and breathing that is powerful and strong is called strong breathing. Taoist lineage uses the expression hua hu, which means to light a fire by breathing through the lower danjeon, just like you're using bellows in an ironwork. Now, soft breathing is called civilized fire, and strong breathing is called intrepid fire. Both of these breathing methods are necessary. Now, when we continue to meditate comfortably in a natural state of purity, we breathe a natural and soft breathing. We take long breaths, but you don't have to take breaths too long. Now, when you just enter meditation, it takes a few strong breaths to wake yourself up and raise your level of concentration higher. Now, when you want to relieve stress and you feel frustrated, breathe deeply. How should be relaxed. And I want to recommend you again, as Jongdosanim said, breathe with your lower danjeon, not with your chest. And you have to work on this because you'll be not be used to it. Great, thank you. Let's have a time to experience the later heavens method of meditation.
시천주 조화정 영세 불망만사지 시기금지 원이대강 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 훔치 델천상원군 훔리치야도래 훔리합리사파 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 훔치 델천상원군